Possibly the most fearsome battle in the culture war, Captain Marvel. Complete and utter disgrace to one side, a champion to feminism on the other. And I'm just sitting here like, what the hell is wrong with everybody? Now look, I felt like the marketing was bad. I think Brie Larson is divisive and unlikable. I also think Chris Evans and Mark Ruffalo are divisive and unlikable. The thing that separates their movies from this movie was they don't market the other Marvel movies as overtly political. They did with Captain Marvel. That worried me because Ghostbusters was bad, and it worried me because The Last Jedi was bad. I have been firm on my position that I'll go see it after the reviews come in, and I don't know which way I'm leaning, but what I will say from this point, like I'm probably going to go see it later in the week, because the reviews are like 6.5, and basically what I'm seeing from a lot of people is that it's just kind of mundane, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. I don't hold it personally against Brie Larson, like I don't hold it personally against Chris Evans or Mark Ruffalo. If you want to be overtly political, fine. I understand how to separate art from the artist. But now we're seeing, oh my God, look, there are accusations of fake reviews on both sides. There are accusations of shills on both sides. It's like the most insane psychosis, but I will say this. The mainstream establishment will do everything in its power to protect itself. So if you genuinely don't like Brie Larson in the movie, tough luck. You're the outsider. They're the establishment. They're the investment. They want their money back, and they will do whatever it takes to get it. When it comes to the fake reviews, and yes, I pointed out in my video yesterday, there are fake reviews. I don't know to what extent. I'm surprised to see that Rotten Tomatoes currently has Captain Marvel at like 51%. Because and that's kind of on par with the Metacritic score, 6.5. It's not too far off. So they deleted 54,000 reviews. Apparently they said it was a bug showing the wrong number, and that's why I was like, okay, maybe this is a bug in my last video. But it would seem that even if there are fake reviews, they don't have that big of an impact. People really didn't like The Last Jedi. Solo did really bad following The Last Jedi. I didn't see Solo. I still haven't seen it because The Last Jedi was that bad. It really did have an impact. You have to recognize these movie reviewers are lying to you. Okay? They are lying to you because it's access journalism. You want to see the movie a week in advance? You better kiss ass, because if they invite you and you write a bad review, you're not coming back in. But we've got a couple funny stories. Bloomberg, it's like all of these outlets defending the establishment, and it's hilarious because, like, why is Bloomberg writing an article like, trolls targeted Captain Marvel, but Disney was ready for them? Film studios are taking a more aggressive approach to countering online criticism. I kid you not. They're actually saying they're countering online criticism. Holy... What happened to this generation that they're surprised that people will criticize them? It's crazy. You know, I point this out all the time. I go on Twitter, I click my notifications, and what is it? Tim, you're an idiot. Tim, you're an idiot. Just over and over and over again. That's it. And I get it. Whatever. Well, sure, I'm an idiot. But what is this? What are you doing? You fighting online criticism? Heavens, people don't like you. That's surprising. If you're a divisive and mean person and you inject that into the marketing for your film, don't be surprised if people don't like it. And not only that, there's this big YouTuber, I forget his name, he's got like 1.5 million subs. He did a review of the movie and he said, it's a feminist movie. It was kind of mundane. And I'm like, I trust that guy. He's not, overly political. And that's kind of my thing. Someone tweeted at me, sorry, Timcast, the movie was actually pretty good. And I'm like, okay. I didn't tell you not to see it. I've repeatedly said, if you're into it, like, by all means, like, I'm happy for you. Seriously, my stance on everything from High Guardian Spice, Wonder Woman, this, Ghostbusters, whatever, is like, hey, if this is what you're into, I'm really happy you finally got a movie that speaks to you. Just, I want you to understand it doesn't speak to me. That's it. I'm not ragging on your movie. That's fine. I'm probably gonna go see it. Right? I went to see Ghostbusters in The Last Jedi. I regretted that. But this sounds like it's going to be a little bit better. And that's fine. I do think they retconned and screwed up the MCU based on the spoilers I read. All right, but I'm ranting. Let's look at some facts. First, as of right now, it is Saturday morning, very early, and they're tracking at $78 million globally on a budget of $152 million. Now, keep in mind, the budget for the production typically doesn't include the budget for the marketing, but it does seem like they might actually come out on top. Some of the reports I've said say that Captain Marvel is tracking at $160 million opening weekend. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I don't know what they're basing that on. If they're sitting at 78 million, I'd have to estimate like maybe over 100, maybe 120. But Thursday previews and Friday is really big. Saturday will be big. Sunday won't be as big. So it's entirely possible. They got 2 days left. But that would mean they're going to pull in another 80 million, which feasibly it's possible. I've heard there's really cringy things about the movie. I pull up the latest Metacritic rating, and it's still sitting at 65. But now I want to talk about some of the issues. What do we have here? What you're seeing in front of you is an accusation that positive reviews, fake positive reviews, are brigading. I can't prove these are real. It's entirely possible that someone who hates the movie wants to smear them to make it look like the reviews are fake. But you don't need to worry about this because I can tell you the reviews are fake, plain and simple. I've got another story I'm going to show you. But what I will say is I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and the only thing I can do is Occam's razor. The simple solution tends to be the correct one. So, yes, there are people who are brigading Captain Marvel's reviews. I pointed this out yesterday. I even thought that the swing was going to be 10 to 20 points. Turns out it was like 4 points. But it has gone up since people started seeing the movie and saying they liked it. So I do think they're getting a lot of people who don't like the movie. But here's the thing, too. A lot of the reviews sound like, at least in my opinion, people actually did go to see the movie. Here's the thing. When it comes to certain movies, I'm like, I want to see them for the cultural news issues, because this is what I do. I do commentary, I do news. And so part of me was like, maybe I should just go see it so that I can tell people what it was like. This time, however, I'm not a movie critic. So I was like, I'm going to sit this one out, and we'll see what happens, because Last Jedi was bad. It's entirely possible these positive reviews are fake. They're all identical, and they're saying it's the same thing. Captain Marvel is really worth it. It was entertaining, yada, yada, yada. But it's also possible that someone who hates the movie is trying to smear it. That's a conspiracy theory. All we can really see is that we have a bunch of identical reviews that are in favor of the movie, so maybe that's what you got. Vox runs this story. How Captain Marvel and Brie Larson beat the internet's sexist trolls. This narrative is trolls tried to review bomb the movie with fake reviews ahead of its release. Oh, were you referring to yourselves? Now look. Don't consider this video an excellent piece of journalism. Again, this is unverified. We'll never prove who made this or what the point is. And the same is true for the other side. It's entirely possible, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, that everything you're hearing about the negative reviews and the anger is also part of the marketing, because there's no such thing as bad press. Don't think that's true. I'm just saying it can go both ways. Here's the thing. These are not internet sexist trolls. But I assure you, the establishment will do everything in its power to protect its interests. Wonder Woman. Like seriously, can we just get everybody who was critical of Brie Larson and Captain Marvel to buy Wonder Woman shirts? I'm not even exaggerating. I think I'm going to buy a Wonder Woman shirt and wear it in all of my videos when I talk about this kind of stuff. Because Wonder Woman was absolutely, it was spot on. I love that movie. One of my favorite scenes for any superhero movie is when Wonder Woman has her shield and she's like leaning forward into like 50 caliber, like whatever fire. Like that's awesome. It's great. And Gal Gadot is charming and likable. And so is even Michael B. Jordan. It was fantastic in Black Panther. Black Panther was great. I really did like it. Even though Black Panther, I think most people actually do put it around the same thing as Captain Marvel, 6.5. But let's look at the difference between Black Panther and Captain Marvel. Did Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan come out and start talking about all of these overt, like, white people got to go away and stuff? No. They were doing the other side. They were saying, hey, we just want to celebrate our culture and celebrate other people's culture. And I'm like, yeah, right on, brother. Like, I agree. Brie Larson says a bunch of snarky, divisive things, and she's snooty. So look, it's a few instances. Do you want to hold it against her? It's not just that. It's the marketing for the film. But here we go. I don't want to waste time. This is from Bounding Into Comics. Sci-Fi Wire's Dan Roth admits to creating positive reviews in order to maintain access while discussing Captain Marvel's Rotten Tomatoes controversy. They have the soundbite. It's really short. I'm not going to play it. But the dude basically says, like, listen, man, sometimes you got a softball movie review. And they ask him, what does that mean? He says, maybe I don't like the movie, but I have to say good things about it. Otherwise, you don't get invited back. These reviews are fake. So when we go over to Metacritic, you have to wonder why. So this is what's challenging. To what degree is the media fake? I mean, in my opinion, I think most of it. You've got Gelman amnesia, right? These people don't know what they're talking about. How many of these people are actually fans of the MCU and actually fans of Marvel and know anything about it? How many of them know what makes a good film? You look at a Rotten Tomatoes review for a movie like Death Wish with Bruce Willis. Basically, it's an old retribution film. They kill his wife. Dude buys guns, goes and takes out the bad guys. It was really enjoyable. I thought it was well put together. It's not going to win any awards. It's not going to be a great masterpiece. They'll never induct it in the Library of Congress. But movies are meant to entertain. Sometimes you see a great, excellent production like Lord of the Rings that's culturally significant, and everybody's like, "Wow, this is epic," and all the actors get tattoos. And sometimes you have a popcorn flick. Sometimes you have a movie like Death Wish where you sit back, kick up, put your feet up. My theater has recliners, and then you pop some popcorn. And you're like, "Yeah, this is fun." Yeah, you're rooting for him. John Wick, for instance. You think John Wick's going to be in the Library of Congress? No, but it's a fun movie. The story isn't that crazy. They killed his dog, and so the dude goes on a rampage. Awesome. When I look at all of these reviews, I have to wonder, do they actually know why Death Wish was enjoyable? Do they actually know why John Wick was enjoyable? The critics hated Death Wish. It got like all the critics hated it. So when I look at this, and when I see a story about a dude straight up saying come on man, Access journalism works this way, and then I look at this, I'm like, how many of these people are just kissing ass because that's their job? Oh, it's a great movie, it's Marvel, it's Disney, everybody go see it, you're gonna love it. And then you look at the mixed reviews, and I have to wonder how many of them were going God, I really hated it, but I'm just gonna say it was okay. And of course, who doesn't care? The New York Post. They don't care. And so they slam the movie. At the same time, the New York Post, in my opinion, is more likely, as a more conservative outlet, to go after the movie and say, wow, this is bad. So I actually would trust the mixed reviews the most. People who are willing to be critical, the Wall Street Journal, willing to be critical, New York Mag, even Slate and Vox. Look at this. Here's what I love. Vox says, I was hoping for something bigger. It wasn't that good. And then they write this, but we beat the sexist trolls. Let me ask you, why are they sexist trolls when they liked Wonder Woman, Alita Battle Angel, The Hunger Games, but they didn't like your one movie? How about we do a science experiment? We take all of these movies with great female leads, we take Captain Marvel and Ghostbusters and Last Jedi and figure out what the difference is as to why people don't like these movies and they do like these movies, and it's plain and simple. Injecting weird political narratives that don't make for a good movie. I watched an interview with a guy who was not in any way like culture war, anti-CW, SJW, whatever, and he was just it was really weird how he felt. He was saying it was really weird how he felt that there was this feminist narrative that was sprinkled in at various points. It wasn't super overt, but he said it feels like that was their idea for carrying a plot. Oh, here's the motivation. Here's why the plot turns. Insert small feminist. I didn't see the movie yet, but he was basically saying just because you make a movie with some feminist tropes doesn't mean you get to skirt an actual plot and actual character development and all that stuff. And that's what he said he felt like. And what's interesting is that a lot of the reviews do say it's formulaic, it's mundane. But you know what? I can't believe how many videos I made on Captain Marvel. It's not even about Captain Marvel. I got to be honest. It's this culture war where what do we see? Fake positive reviews, fake negative reviews. We're fighting sexist trolls. They're not sexist trolls. That's insane. You've got, Metacritic, which is actually probably a decent breakdown, but then Rotten Tomatoes is deleting reviews. You've got writers saying well, we kind of kiss ass sometimes because we have to. And then we have this last story before I sign off because I'm going long. YouTube fought Brie Larson trolls by changing its search algorithm. I kid you not. So the quartering, when I checked, was still up there. But why is criticism not allowed to be involved? This is what blows my mind. I am by no means angry with Brie Larson at all. I have nothing but respect for her. I think she said snooty and divisive things. I don't like it. But again, I've pointed this out in 4 videos I've made about this because God knows why I keep talking about this. But Chris Evans, yeah, same thing, snooty. I tweeted him before, dude, you need to chill out. You're not that smart. But for Chris Evans, he uses these small obscure words to try and sound smart. That's fine. I still love Captain America. I still think he's really, really good at what he does. I think Brie Larson actually is a really great actress. I haven't seen the movie yet, but my understanding is that, listen, when you're playing a character who's told to bottle up your emotions and has no memory, I don't think you're giving Brie a lot to work with, so people said she was stone-faced and mundane, plain and simple. But when YouTube changes its algorithm, when news organizations start coming to your defense, and you have fake positive reviews, let's talk about who's brigading. Let's talk about what's real here. They want to act like the random people on the internet who are upset and are posting these negative reviews are the real brigade. No, it's you, with the press behind you, with YouTube behind you, and with these fake reviews behind you. I'm going to wrap it up there. I got another video coming up at 1 p.m. and how much do you want to bet it's going to be about Captain Marvel? No. Look, I'll say this one more time. It's not so much about Captain Marvel. It's about the cultural issues, the establishment versus the underdog and things like that. And look, I'm going to go see Captain Marvel probably next week. I don't hate it. I don't hate Brie Larson. I love Marvel. So that's why I'm like, okay, my fear was that it was going to be really, really awful. And most of the reviews I've seen, even from people who are critical of Larson, are like, yeah, it was meh. And I'm like, I can do meh. I can do meh. I can have some popcorn, sit back, and take it in for myself and try and figure it out. And I hope you all recognize that I'm fair with my reviews, right? So I'll go see it, and I'm probably not going to do a video reviewing it because it's beating a dead horse. I'm going to leave it there. I'll see you guys at 1 p.m.